Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. My name is Katie, I am the Introverted Reader, and today's video is going to be a book tag. Now, I told you on Twitter that it was going to be the this or that book tag, which I still might do, but then I thought to myself, you know what, it's Pride Month, and I kind of want to do like a, I don't know, like a Pride Monthy sort of themed tag, and then I thought to myself, I wonder, has a Queer Eye book tag been done before? And I was literally about to like try and think up some questions about, you know, like assigning something to each of the Fab Five, and then turns out it's already been done. So I googled it and it's already been done. So without further ado, let's just get into it. Cheers, your health. If you've yet to hydrate today, please do so. Get your beverage of choice and hydrate. So I have my laptop right here. So whenever I googled it, I found the questions on a lovely book blogger's page called Pages of Milk and Honey. And she is not the original creator of it. She says in her post she was going to create a post herself, but then it found out that Ayla over at Books and Babbles is the OG creator of this tag. So shout out to both of yous for helping me out. So basically each category is based on each of the Fab Five, so just assign a book to each one, I guess. And if you're not familiar with Queer Eye, where have you been, honestly? So anyway, we have our Fab Five. So the first one we're going to talk about is Anthony. Anthony is the food and wine expert on Queer Eye, and he is gorgeous. He is a lovely man inside and out, and I love him. He's a sweet, precious cinnamon roll. We must protect him at all times. And the one that I would assign for him, now, don't be rolling your eyes at me when I say this, but I'm going to go for Anthony, Kingdom of the Wicked. Why? Because our main character, Emily, and her twin sister, Victoria, run a restaurant with their family in Sicily. And they are all very family orientated. And there's lots of like different descriptions of the food and, you know, like what they're doing and everything. And a lot of times as well, and this is where I think the comparison with Anthony comes in, because Anthony, you know, seems to like kind of uses not like, don't take this the wrong way, but it's almost like cooking is like therapy for him. And I think a lot of times in the book, in Kingdom of the Wicked, and in the series as a whole, the main character, Amelia, uses food like that as well. Like whenever she's feeling really overwhelmed, a lot of times she would go into the kitchen and just create something. And I think Anthony would really appreciate that. So we're going to go for that for Anthony. Our next one is Tan France. He is our fashion expert. And for him, this might be a little bit on the nose, but I am going to go with Spin the Dawn by Elizabeth Lim for Tan, because again, it's about our girl who wants to be the tailor for the imperial palace for the emperor. And, you know, it's all about, it's not, obviously, there's a whole bigger plot in there too, but at the core of it, you know, she has been running this little shop with her father and her brothers and her family for a really long time. And, you know, she's the best, you know, tailor out there. She, you know, she's amazing at creating garments. She knows how to put it together. And at the end of the day, I think Tam would appreciate all of that, because fashion is art at the end of the day. And he's always preaching that, you know, just always like, you know, creating something and feeling good about it, you know, like, I think, yeah, Spin it on. Let me see. And also as well, all the descriptions of the clothes and like what they look like and like what our main character is able to do, I think Tam would be in awe, honestly. Now the next one is for Jonathan, JVN, the almighty queen themselves, okay? Like, I love Jonathan Van Ness so much. Like, so funny, so talented, so like on. Like, he's so sharp and like aware of everything. And I adore Jonathan. And Jonathan is the grooming expert. Now, he will tell you all the things you need to do to take care of your skin. They will tell you all the things you need to do to take care of your hair, your nails, and like what beauty products and everything, and like keeping up to date with trends, and like follow JVN on TikTok. Your life will change. Anyway, so the book that I signed for Jonathan, it's not so much a book, but it's a character from a book, and it's Piper from the Heroes of Olympus series. Now, Piper is, yes, a demigod. She is a daughter of Aphrodite. But, you know, she kind of like her hair. Listen, I'm not here to dictate what everybody does with their hair, but she cuts her hair herself. And I think Jonathan would immediately be like, no, give me those scissors right now. Here, let me show you. I'll help you. Like, I feel like he wouldn't try and change Piper for who she is. He would look at her hair and he'd be like, I mean, you know, you want to wear your hair short? That's great. I love that for you. But here, let me show you how to take care of it. Let me show you what products to use. And if you're going to keep it that short length, you know, I'll do it for you. Or like, go to someone professional and get that done. Like, don't worry, I got you. Like, he would give her tips on how to like maintain the style that she has, but you know, like how to, you know, because Piper's hair is described as being really choppy and kind of messy, which is kind of what, but like there's a way to do that. Do you know what I mean? There's a way to go to your salon and get that done right. Do you know what I mean? So, because Jonathan would never let anybody walk around here looking a mess. Do you know what I mean? Ever, ever. Let me see. Okay, so the next one is Bobby Burke, and he is the design expert. He is like Mr. Interior Designer. You know, he gives you his Instagram and everything is full of tips on like how to make use of your space, how to like, you know, make sure there's not too much clutter around, and just like what colors and how to wear the natural light and all it. And it's just like, oh, it's wonderful. So for Bobby, I'm going to say House in the Cerulean Sea by TJ Klune. Now, because I just feel like he would walk up in that house and he'd be like, you've got such a lovely house here. You and the kids are adorable. But, you know, he'd be taking like Linus and Arthur to all the good, like cute antique shops. And he'd be showing them like, okay, let me create a space that's just for yous over here. And then the children can have their space and we'll show the children how to keep it nice. You know, like he would give them all sorts of tips in that regard. Do you know what I mean? I feel like he would really like kick that house up a notch. Do you know what I mean? Not there's anything wrong with the house, but he'd be like, this is perfect, but let me show you how to keep it that way. Do you know what I mean? And like, can you imagine him taking Linus and Arthur to like antique shops? Or like showing them like pieces of old furniture that they can like reproduce, like they can like reuse and everything. Oh, that'd be great. Okay, so the last one is Karamo. Now, Karamo Brown is the culture expert. And basically what that means is during an episode of Queer Eye, do you mind? Sorry, there's a seagull flying about outside and it feels the need. Anyway, so episode of Queer Eye, Karamo is the one that like sort of takes the hero aside, sits them down. There's usually a lot of tears because he sometimes would sit and talk to them about their lives, their families, their jobs, where they are in their lives at that moment. You know, like, are they close with your family? What's your relationship like with, you know, if they have kids, what's your relationship like with your kids? Do you make time for the children? Do you make time for yourself? And again, there's usually a lot of tears because the heroes do end up opening up to him, and it's a lot of like, oh, I just love my kids so much, but I just don't have the time. It's just like, oh, so good. So I did say one for Karamo, but Karamo's main thing is that he gives a lot. He's very inspirational, and he would give a lot of like, never let anybody dim your shine ever. Like, you are valid. You know, you've so much to offer the world, and you know, you're a good person. Don't lose that. And I think the one that I would want to give to Karamo is Felix Ever After by Case and Calendar. Now, I feel like I don't talk enough about this book because it is honestly one of the most beautiful books I've ever read in my life. because it's basically about main character Felix, who's a trans boy, and he's struggling a little bit because he's, you know, about to finish high school and he really wants to go to art school, but he's not sure if he's good enough, and he's kind of struggling with his art a little bit. And as well, he's dealing with a lot of transphobic bullying, and the whole thing is that someone posts photos of his former self around school with his dead name everywhere, and he starts getting these really horrible text messages. And I really feel like Karamo would be able to like encourage this boy and sit this boy down and be like, listen, you never let the transphobes win, ever. And, you know, and it's basically all throughout that book, you know, Felix is dealing with all this bullying. And, you know, through it all, he's able to come out the other side of it and be like, you know what? I am who I am. Let the haters hate all they want. They're not going to change me. You know, like, I'm proud, I'm trans, I'm brown, I'm femme, who cares? You know, and at the end of it, there's a pride parade in the book as well, because it's like Pride Month, I think. Whenever that book is set, correct me if I'm wrong. But I do remember a whole scene where, like, he goes to a pride parade and he's just surrounded by all, like, queer people everywhere. And it's a big celebration of life and of love. And it's just beautiful. And if you haven't read that book, I highly recommend it. So yeah, that is the last of the Fab Five. Now, at the end of every episode of Queer Eye, they have these like QE hip tips, which is basically one of the guys, you know, giving you just like a little bit like Jonathan could be standing there with like a hairdryer in hand, being like, next time you're drying your hair and you want to do this, like do that. Or like Tan giving you a fashion tip, or like Bobby showing you how to like fix a squeaky door or something like that. So basically, what Pages of Milk and Honey has done at the end here is recommend some queer books. So you know who I'm going to recommend by now. Simon James Green, an entire shelf dedicated up there. TJ Clune, Becky Albertalli, Juno Dawson, Kissing Calendar, who else? Oh my word. There's so many other queer authors out there. Benjamin Dean, oh my word. And I know there's so many others. Read all their books. Aristotle and Dante, Discover the Secrets of the Universe is honestly, read that book. You'll cry, you'll laugh, you'll cry some more. Read it. Anyway, so that is it. And if you have any other queer books or queer authors that you want me to look into, and a lot of the Fab Five have books of their own. Like Jonathan's written 2 books, Tan's written a book, Anthony has cookbooks, Karamo's written a book, so like look into all of them as well. And yeah, that is it for the Queer Eye book tag. So thank you, Pages of Milk and Honey, for saving my hide in this video. Thank you to Ayla over at Books and Babble for creating the Queer Eye book tag. Thank you to all of you guys for watching. Who is your favorite member of the Fab Five? Do you watch Queer Eye? If you don't, you should. Like, if you enjoy happiness, watch Queer Eye. So that is it for this video. I hope you all enjoyed. I hope you're all doing well. I hope you're having a great Pride Month. And yes, my next video will be next Tuesday because, boo, I'm working over the weekend. So all my socials will be down below as always. Please subscribe if you're new. I want to hit 300 subscribers, so that would be wonderful. If you are new here and you would like to subscribe, that'd be great. So I'm going to stop talking. I'll see you next week. Stay safe, stay sound, and yeah, see you next week. Bye.